We help parents raise their kids to be Christ followers. I'm Pastor Dwayne, and today's topic is adopting everyone's advice. This series is about how not to parent. There is a lot of advice out there today about how to parent, but there isn't a lot of advice about how not to do it. And in these tips, we're teaching you about some strategies that you need to avoid. And today's topic almost seems to say, don't pay attention to these tips. But this is a very important nuance to understand. All these tips have a frame of reference, our faith in God and His Word. And as you move through the remainder of this set of tips, you're going to see this important nuance. Don't follow parenting tips. Follow a consistent train of thinking. There's a lot of great parenting advice out there, and people tend to think of parenting as a combination of tips. I once had a pastor friend who went through the family vision study say to me, I thought this was going to be parenting tips, but it's not. It's an approach to parenting. If you think God is leading you to another approach, that's fine. Every parent has to prayerfully consider how they will parent their children. Even my own boys who both are serving God will have to choose for themselves. That's your role as a spiritual leader of the garden or family God has given you. And it's very easy to simply attempt to adapt someone else's advice into what you're already doing. But this can make eventual parental decisions very difficult. Do I do this the way this person does it or the way the other person does it? There are many decisions a parent has to make. And when you confuse it with different approaches, it can be a real challenge. So you have to understand the basis of a parenting approach. Where is the advice coming from? Am I choosing to do what I'm doing because a professional said to do it? Am I doing it because mom and dad did it this way? Am I doing this or not doing this because of a feeling I get? It's important to ask questions and figure out how to think about parenting. It's important to be part of a parenting group who is trying to base their approach on the same thing as you. It's also important to be involved in daily devotions and pray and ask God what He would have you do. Don't just adopt everyone's advice, as you'll see more and more as we move through these tips on how not to parent. God uses your desire to raise your kid right to get to your heart. Thanks for listening to me. Now, take a moment and let Him speak to you.